let's take a day to you this day of your time. How are you all?
With
Yes.
them. I've always wondered where they came from because
They come from Earth.
So they have.
Were they not born to you?
Yes.
What I'm saying to you is this question, where do I come from? Where do they come from? Is really an old-fashioned, outdated, outmoded understanding in metaphysical knowledge. You come from spirit if you want to have the idea of a specific origin point. You come from the source of all that is. But when you ask, where do I come from, implying another reality, another dimension, another planet, another civilization, you come from Earth because that's where you were physically born. What you're actually asking is, since all lives exist simultaneously, yes?
Yes.
Then if all things exist at the same time, how can you come from any place else to here? Do you understand?
Yes.
So you chose to have, your oversoul chose to have an extension incarnated as an earth life. At the same time, it has other extensions in other lives and other earth lives and other civilizations and other realms of reality altogether at the same time. So the idea, when you say, where do I come from, is actually another way of saying, in a more, shall we put it, modern context, what other simultaneously coexisting realities am I connecting to from this life that serve me in helping define the theme I chose to explore in this life? That's what you're actually saying. Because you don't come from anywhere in the past tense sense. You are making cross connections to all the lives that serve you in this life, even as all the other lives are making cross connections simultaneously to your experiences in this life to aid and assist them in downloading information that may be relevant for the experiences they are having in those lives. But it's all going on at the same time. Yes?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So, this is one of the things we are now aiding and assisting your world with in your exploration of spiritual and metaphysical concepts, is the idea that some of your definitions are in many ways, shall we say, old-fashioned, outmoded, outdated. And the very definitions themselves can cause confusion within you because of the way you're framing your questions, the way you're framing your perspective, such as asking, where do I come from? When you understand that everything exists all at once, that question will be nonsensical. You will understand that you come from here and now, and you'll understand that any other place you sense, you're becoming more aware of. When you say, where do I come from? It's just the process of the fact that your consciousness is expanding to the point where you're becoming aware of more of the other places you are also connected to. It's just that many of you assume that when you make that connection, when you make that realization, that somehow that means you have come from there. All it means is you're becoming more aware of a connection you have to there. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
But since you have chosen in this life to come from Earth, the point of making those other connections is to allow yourself to become more aware, more conscious about all the information you are extracting from those other simultaneously existing parallel lives that is relevant for you, and applying that information, applying that energy, bringing it down to Earth. That's the whole point of how you aid and assist in the transformational age. Because when you talk about the idea of where do I come from, it can cause confusion in many of you that make you feel like you need to disconnect from the earth to get back home. Home is everywhere. You are eternal, you are infinite, you are everywhere as all that is. Home is where you are. So the idea is that if you will streamline and modernize your definitions, it won't be about disconnecting from the earth in order to attempt to go to some place or reconnect to some place you think you come from that you judge to be better than where you are, which it isn't. It's just different. Thus then, by making all things equal and knowing it's a real-time, simultaneously existing connection, you can use that energy to bring that vibration, if you prefer the vibration that is represented by some of those other lives, you can bring that vibration through yourself into the earth and live that way as your version, your earth version of that other connection, that other life, that other being, and thus then allow the earth to see in you as a living example a reflection of an energy they can also choose for themselves. Is this making sense?
It is.
Does this help you?
Yes, thank you.
Why, thank